morning and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. It's Monday the 3rd of February today and it's beach clean day, which is why I've got my orange jacket on. I haven't actually started moonlighting and working for Ovendens. And this morning, while it's such a lovely morning, I'm going to take you for a walk down onto the beach. I've got my wellies on. I'm going to take you down onto the beach and we're going to go and have a look at the reefs in Cleveleys. Did you know we've got reefs? Think blue tropical waters and little pretty fish. Yeah. So make sure you've subscribed, make sure you've hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget to sign up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter. And then you'll get all of the latest updates and all of this kind of interesting information straight into your inbox. Right, come along then, let's go and have a look. So all our beach cleanery mates are all out on the beach. I think there's about 40 turned up this morning. There's loads of people. They've all disappeared now because they're all out on the beach. And we've got company this morning. They're doing the next layer of concrete on the crossover ramp. So I think they're currently digging out and putting the form in. That's a bit of a big hole, that, isn't it? I'd love to go and have a look, and they'll not let me pass that. They'll not let me pass that chain. Anyway, that's not what we're here to see. We are here to see the reefs on Cleveleys Beach. And you've probably seen these and thought that they were mud. In which case you were wrong, because they're actually created by little teeny tiny animals. We're going to go via this groin here. I'm going to go and have a look and see what's growing on it, because I've not been down on the beach for a few weeks. I've sort of looked at it from a respectful distance because it's been cold and wet and windy and rainy and horrible. But it's surprising how quickly brand new clean rocks end up becoming colonised and used by all the little critters that live in the sea. Let's have a look. So the green stuff is algae. There's already seaweed growing in it. So when did they do this? This was one of the first ones that they did, which is dating back to probably, well, we're in February now. So I would say this is dating back to summer last year. So there's already loads of green algae. There's bits of seaweed growing on it, and under here, look, we've got barnacles growing. Can you see them? Little barnacles, all growing on the rocks. I think that's a piece of granite, that one. Woo! And then when the tide goes out, there's little pockets in between them where all the little critters live. Right, we're going that way. Next, we're going to go and have a look at the honeycomb worm reef. I think we'll go and have a look at this one that's just at the end of this groin, because it's nearer. And I always have kittens about coming out on the beach, because I'm always worried about getting cut off, because it's so easy to get trapped on a sandbank. So in summer, when the weather's beautiful, well, in any time of year, but when the weather's nice and you're wandering about on the beach and you're thinking that you've got time and tide to yourself, you just need to keep looking behind you and make sure that you've got a safe passage back to the promenade. Anyway, back to the worms. It's like working on the surface of the moon, this ridged sand. That's better. Back to the worms. So this thing that you can see in front of us here, this sort of podgy looking claggy stuff, this is actually reef. And it's honeycomb worm reef. And you'll see when we get nearer to it that the honeycomb shaped tubes, which are made out of little bits of sand and shell, all stuck together with mucus by these little teeny tiny worms. And the worms are only about 3 to 4 centimetres long. In old money, that's about 2 inches. And because they just keep building and building and building these reefs, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's a great big patch of it over here. It extends all the way along Cleveleys seafront. There's a lot of it going down towards Fleetwood as well. And you see it clearly sometimes, not at all at others, depending on what the weather's been like and how it's blown the carried the sand and deposited it to cover it up. Right, let's see if I can get near a bit without sinking into anything gloopy. So it's a bit gammy to walk round. But when you get near to it, let's have a bob down and show you. When you get near to it, you can see what it is. So look at that. It's little tubes. Can you see that they're all individual honeycomb shapes all locked together? So they've obviously started off sort of on the pebbles and used that as a base. And then over a period of time, as they make more and more and more of the little tubes, they get further and further and further up in the layers. And that is all that, as far as you can see on that image. Amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Let's go for a walk around this outside edge and we'll have a closer look at this bit here. So, the worm that makes it is called Sabellaria Alveolata, and it's an annelid or ringed worm. Not quite sure what that is, but that's what it says on Visit Cleveleys. And the adults, as I said, are only 3 to 4 centimetres long, and they're filter feeders, so they have a little plume-like fan that extends out of the tube, and they waft that about a bit like a sort of an anemone arrangement, and they waft that about to catch the plankton and the microscopic food things that they're eating that waft about in the water. And they can live up to 9 years. I mean, that's a long time for a 3 centimetre long worm, isn't it? And here's a question. Apparently they were first described in 1767. So the question is, have they been at Cleveleys since 1767? Look at that for a big lump. And you can see the ends of all the little tubes. I would imagine the worms have gone to bed until the sea comes back in. But at the ends of these little tubes, you're going to get a little fan wafting out of the top of it and waving backwards and forwards to catch plankton and stuff that's in the water. You can see this one there, look, particularly. You can see that the end of it is a proper little tube. Amazing, aren't they? Look at that for a view. And down there is Blackpool Tower. So apparently they're found round Britain on particularly the southern and western coasts, and you can find them as far south as Morocco. Not just here in Cleveleys. I thought for a long time that this was the petrified forest, but it's not. And it's listed in the UK Biodiversity Action Plan, published in 1994. It also says that on Visit Cleveleys as well. So normally, when the tide's out, there's loads of birds on here, all pecking about and looking for... Oh, there's one there. There's just one little turnstone. But there's usually loads of birds pecking about and picking and looking for food, because this reef really encourages biodiversity. It's a hotbed of bugs and beasties and little bits of animals and microscopic critters, and they all provide food for larger fish and birds, which in turn provides food for larger fish and birds and mammals and seals and things like that. And that's how you sustain nature and wildlife, by having a habitat like this. Amazing, isn't it? It's like being in the middle of nowhere down here. It's lovely. It's cold. It's cold, but it's lovely. So I hope you've enjoyed that little look at that there wildlife that lives on that there beach. Just one of the, you see, you look round and it just looks like vast, empty, desolate nothingness, doesn't it? Just looks as if there's oh, that's making me dizzy. It just looks as if there's absolutely nothing there, and that is just so not true. If you know where to look, it's an environment that's rich with all kinds of things. And I must admit, I don't know what 95% of it is, but it's interesting finding out, so I thought you might like to know. Don't forget, make sure that you've subscribed. Don't forget to hit all the little bells and buttons and whatnot and get your newsletter. And until next time, we'll see you later. Bye for now.